Stop. Just stop everything you're doing right now and listen. Because if you think you understand betrayal, if you think you know what it means to be disrespected by the very organization you carried on your back for 7 years, you don't know the half of it. February 1st, 2025. Late Saturday night. Basketball fans across the world were scrolling through their phones, getting ready for bed, when notifications started lighting up screens everywhere. Luka Doncic has been traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. The first reaction, this has to be fake. This has to be a parody account. There's no way the Dallas Mavericks just traded a 25-year-old generational superstar who took them to the NBA Finals less than a year ago. No way. But then people checked the source, verified account, Shams Charania, millions of followers, and everyone was thinking the same thing. Did Shams get hacked? Because this doesn't make sense. This can't be real. But it was real. The Dallas Mavericks traded Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick. That's it. That's what they got for a guy who's currently leading the entire NBA in scoring at 33.8 points per game. A guy who just hung 46 on the Chicago Bulls. A guy who's only 26 years old and just entering his prime.
Very interesting night in the NBA.
Have you ever been more shocked?
This is the most shocking trade in NBA history.
Dallas didn't want to move forward with one of the greatest young players that we've seen today.
Nobody knew about the trade.
Nobody expected it.
He's supposed to have a statue!
Multiple fans were ejected.
Look at the history of the Lakers.
Wilt, Kareem, and now Luka Doncic.
Maybe there's another move in the making.
They must know something we don't know.
This isn't just a bad trade. This is organizational malpractice. This is a crime against basketball. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why Luka Doncic deserved so much better than what the Dallas Mavericks gave him. But before we talk about the trade and all the drama that came with it, you need to understand who Luka Doncic really is. Because this isn't just some good player. This is someone who was breaking records and winning championships before he could even legally drink in America. Luka Doncic was born on February 28, 1999, in Ljubljana, Slovenia. His father, Sasha, played professional basketball, and his godfather, Rasho Nesterovic, played in the NBA.
Honestly, he was playing with basketball all of his life. Since he was 1 year old, when he started to walk, he was playing with the ball.
When he was a little kid, he came to my games and he watched it. And he hardly waited till we finished first half. Immediately after that, he took a ball and he go and shoot to the basket. He was maybe 2.5, 3 years old. He started to play basket.
So from day one, Luka was surrounded by the game. By the time he was 8 years old, he went to his first real basketball practice. And that practice lasted exactly 16 minutes.
When he started practicing, then basketball, first coach, he said after, 1 minute, please go with the other guy.
That's all it took for the coaches to realize this kid was playing a completely different game than everyone else his age.
Try to win every game that he played. If the outcome wasn't a win, it was a very emotional moment for him.
Big basketball intelligence. I saw that very early.
So they moved him up to play with 12-year-olds. But even that wasn't enough of a challenge. Within a few practices, they moved Luka from the basketball school to Olympia's elite club team. And here's the thing about Luka at that age. He wasn't the biggest kid. He wasn't the fastest. His feet had grown ahead of his body, so he was actually clumsy at times. But what he had was something you can't teach. Basketball, IQ, vision.
Word vision is something, something I even had when I was little. I saw what people are gonna do, how they're gonna guard me, and where the passes go.
And a competitive fire that refused to let anyone treat him like the little kid on the court. By the time he was 12, Real Madrid invited him to play in their Mini Copa tournament. And Luka didn't just play well. He destroyed Barcelona in the championship game with 20 points. But the real moment came a few weeks later in Rome at an under-13 tournament. Luka was 5'1" and playing against kids his own age for the first time. And what did he do? He dropped a 54-point triple-double in the championship game. 54 points at 12 years old. Suddenly, every scout in Europe knew about the Wonder Boy from Slovenia. Real Madrid offered him a spot on their youth team full-time. But here's where things got tough, because Luka was only 13 years old, and moving to Spain meant leaving his family, his friends, his school, everything he knew behind.
I had to leave all my family, all my friends, the school I was there, everything, so...
He was mature as a child also, but if you go away from home with 13 years old, you become very mature. So this helped him to develop in basketball too.
It was really tough. I didn't know nobody. Actually, I almost didn't speak English either. Like, I just know how to say hello, how are you, and that stuff. Nobody spoke my language. I didn't speak Spanish. So it was really tough. And that's how I learned Spanish so quick. In 3 months, I was like just doing nothing. Just be there, listen, be quiet.
He didn't speak Spanish. He barely spoke English. He was alone in a foreign country at 13 years old. But there was one language Luka understood perfectly: basketball, and it showed. At 15 years old, Luka became the youngest player ever to suit up for Real Madrid's senior team. At 16, he made his EuroLeague debut, becoming only the 21st player to play in the EuroLeague before turning 17. By 17, he was starting games against grown men and making passes that veterans couldn't figure out. Then came the 2017 Eurobasket tournament. Luka joined the Slovenian national team and formed a backcourt with Goran Dragic, a guy who used to play with Luka's dad when Luka was just a ball boy.
He was like 2, he would come and watch, he would be at practices. When he was older, like 8, 7, he would be a ball boy or come watch the game.
And together, they won gold. Luka made the all-tournament team while averaging 14 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. He was 18 years old and already one of the best players in Europe.
He's a born winner, so, no, I'm not kidding. Mark my words, he's gonna be one of the best in the whole world.
Make Luka understand what he has to do, okay? Not only just playing basketball, making sure that the team is on the same page. And I think that's a great thing about Luka, to not only being a great basketball player, but also be a guy who can lead the team.
But Luka wasn't done. In the 2017-18 season, he completely took over. He led Real Madrid to the EuroLeague championship and became the youngest player ever to win Final Four Most Valuable Player. Then he won regular season MVP. Then he led them to the Spanish League title and won that MVP too. In one season, he won every single award there was to win in European basketball.
I don't have really words right now. It's an amazing feeling, very special for me, and I'm so glad to have these teammates, to have these coaches, to have everybody in my team, and I'm really happy.
He was 19 years old, so when the 2018 NBA draft came around, you'd think Luka would be the first pick, right? Wrong.
His feet is slower than rush hour traffic, okay? Really slow feet.
Really? That's a problem.
Really slow feet, and he's gonna have to guard the Jason Tatums,
Well, that is, because I've heard people talk about him like he's going to be bringing the ball up the court like he's a point.
No.
Like he's great in the pick and roll and all that.
He can play the pick and roll, but he's not a point guard. There's a difference between being point guard and being able to go off the ball.
He is a great passer.
He got good vision, but he still got slow feet, and those slow feet hurt him on the offensive end too. So his NBA comparison is Hedo Turkoglu.
He fell all the way to third. The Phoenix Suns took DeAndre Ayton first, the Sacramento Kings took Marvin Bagley second, and then the Atlanta Hawks took Luka third and immediately traded him to Dallas for Trae Young. NBA scouts didn't think his game would translate.
Dončić at 6'7" will get exposed for all of the inadequacies that Dirk's not a great athlete.
No.
Dirk does have explosive quickness, right?
No.
Dirk isn't physical.
No.
Well, that's what's going to happen to Dončić.
They said he was too slow, not athletic enough. They passed on a kid who had just dominated the second-best league in the world at 19 years old. And the Dallas Mavericks, to their credit, believed in him. They traded up to get him. They wanted Luka Doncic to be the future of their franchise. But here's the crazy part. Even the Mavericks didn't fully understand what they had.
When he walked in the first time here in this practice facility, he looked at, he's a big boy, but I'm like, I'm not sure this is going to work. Is he quick enough? Is he athletic enough to go by guys like he is in Europe? And so there were plenty of doubts there from everybody on the team.
When Luka arrived in Dallas for his rookie season, head coach Rick Carlisle wasn't sure what to do with a 6'8" point guard. So he started Luka at small forward.
At forward in his first season from Slovenia, number 77, Luka Doncic.
And had Dennis Smith Jr. run the offense. Luka's NBA debut? 10 points on 31% shooting with 4 turnovers. Not exactly the start anyone was hoping for. But then came Game 2 against the Timberwolves. Luka scored 26 points on 50% shooting. And suddenly, everyone realized something.
He's really fluent in Spanish as a second language.
I walked up to Wes, I'm like, man, y'all gonna let the white dude get the ball the whole game? That's crazy. He looked me dead in my face. He said, that mother cold.
This kid's size and strength at 6'8", 220 let him bully smaller guards and shoot over them with ease. And his ability to play at his own pace, to slow the game down and make the defense guess, that transferred perfectly to the NBA. Within weeks, Rick Carlisle had completely changed his mind. Luka became the starting point guard. Dennis Smith Jr. got benched and eventually traded. And Luka went on to average 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists as a rookie. He broke the record for most points scored by a teenager in NBA history.
I didn't really use the step back in Europe, but then I did it like against Houston in my first year, and they say, oh, you have a great step back, and since then I've been doing the step back. I didn't really like nobody.
You did it against Houston? Like you did it in the game? You hadn't practiced it really?
No, I never, like before I never really practiced the step back.
He became the first teenager ever to record multiple triple-doubles. And he won Rookie of the Year.
First of all, I would like to make the playoffs, but personally, I think every rookie wants to win the Rookie of the Year.
He's past that next step after his first season. Like, you knew Luka's gonna be that guy, and he's that guy now.
Missing out on a unanimous selection by just 2 votes.
When you're 18 years old and you're the MVP of the second best league in the world, it goes to show you understand positionless basketball. His IQ is off the charts. He takes his time. And now we're actually starting to have the question about who is the point guard of the future? People are starting to say, well, actually, his PER is better when he's on the court alone as opposed to playing with Dennis Smith Jr. That just brings in a different type of player. He's a franchise player. He's the Rookie of the Year as of right.
But if you thought that was impressive, his sophomore season was even better. Luka averaged 28.8 points, 9.4 rebounds, and 8.8 assists. He was selected to his first All-Star game. And then he did something that only one other player in NBA history had done. He was named to the All-NBA First Team in his second season. The only other player to do that? Tim Duncan. Luka Doncic was 20 years old and already considered a top 5 player in the entire league. Then came the 2020 playoffs, and Luka showed everyone that he was built for the big moments. In his first ever playoff game against the Clippers, he scored 42 points, the most ever in an NBA playoff debut.
He's physical as and flops at the same time, which is the exact same thing I do. It initiates the contact, hits you, and it's not like, as basketball players, you can feel like, the muscle, and it's not muscle with him. And that's no, discredit to his body or anything, but that's just how he's made up. It's that kind of that flabby solid type of, just leaning on you. And then you lean on the back and he, put his heads up and put a lot of pressure on the referee. So you can't really guard him physically like the type of way I want to guard him. He did a good job at exploiting that, real good job.
Then in Game 4, he recorded a 43-point triple-double.
I just call it the slow step, I didn't practice that. Go into defender a little bit, and then just slow step. Wait till he's going to jump. And if you don't jump, you just go up.
And hit one of the most ridiculous game winners you'll ever see with 3.7 seconds left.
Back to Dončić. Dončić pulls up, 3-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good! Dončić wins the game at the buzzer!
The Clippers eventually won that series in 6 games. But Luka averaged 31 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. At 21 years old, he was putting up Michael Jordan-type numbers in the playoffs. Over the next few years, the story stayed the same. Luka kept getting better. He kept breaking records. He kept dragging the Mavericks to the playoffs. In 2021, he averaged 35 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists in a first-round loss to the Clippers. In 2022, he led Dallas all the way to the Western Conference Finals, dropping 35 points in a Game 7 win over the Suns after they had trash-talked him all series long.
85% of the time, here's the step back by Luka.
16 into Biombo, doubled inside, give him 18, and a foul on the play.
gives him comfort.
Doncic, what a hard shot. First half, stunning. 27-point lead, down goes Johnson, 3 lead.
Every single year, Luka got better. Every single year, he proved he was one of the best players on the planet.
But try to test you, it gets me going. It actually helps me. But like I say, I'm just competitive and everything.
In 2023, he dropped a 60-point triple-double against the Knicks.
This game. And that true rim, it's still loose. Luka got it back.
Yeah, I actually thought we won. It was 2 points.
So maybe you aren't that smart.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, I actually thought it was only...
You thought it was a 1-point game?
I don't know what I thought, but
so
I thought
it was a 1-point game and
I would have missed the free throw. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know what was happening. I actually thought we won. Because then I went there to celebrate it. And then I think Seawood tells me, it's a tie game.
Becoming only the second player ever to record a 60-point triple-double. Then in 2024, he hung 73 points on the Hawks, the fourth highest scoring game in NBA history.
The most efficient 70-point game in NBA history with a true shooting percentage of 91%.
I was just going, whatever the defense give me. In the second half, they double me all the time, so I tried to make some plays. So then sometimes I would just break the double. So just seeing the game.
But the most important moment came in 2024 when the Mavericks finally put the right pieces around him. They traded for P.J. Washington and Daniel Gafford at the deadline.
We had some size to our team. We had our backup center, which I wanted like 3 years already. So I think both players really going to help us out a lot.
The defense improved dramatically, and with Kyrie Irving healthy and playing at an all-star level, Dallas made it all the way to the NBA Finals. Luka averaged nearly a 30-point triple-double in the playoffs. He led the entire postseason in total points, rebounds, and assists. Only one other player in history had done that: LeBron James. The Mavericks lost to the Celtics in 5 games.
I want to be a champion, and that's all you can think about after you lose. And it was devastating. It was a hard moment, especially that first week, going through your mind like you lost. You've been there, you could have won, but you lost. So just going through that was hard.
But Luka was brilliant. At 25 years old, he had already carried a franchise to the finals. He had signed a Supermax extension. He had committed to Dallas long-term.
What do you say to those fans who are worried about you not sticking in Dallas long-term?
I don't think they're worried about it right now. I got 5 years left here, so I don't think they should be worried about it.
He told everyone that he wanted to bring a championship to that city, and then 9 months later, they traded him.
This is just shocking.
I was absolutely shocked.
The most shocking trade.
So let's talk about what actually happened. Because the trade itself was shocking enough, but the way it went down and the reasons behind it, that's what makes this whole thing a complete joke. On February 1st, 2025, the Mavericks were 26-24. Not great, but not terrible. Luka had been dealing with a calf injury and was set to return in about a week. The team had just added Klay Thompson in the offseason.
Jay, Klay Thompson is on his way to the Dallas Mavericks. I'm told a 3-year, $50 million deal that'll include a player option. It's a sign and trade with the Warriors.
They were supposed to be contenders, but behind the scenes, things were falling apart. According to reports, there was tension between Luka and the front office about his conditioning. Luka had come into training camp overweight after spending the offseason recovering from all the injuries he dealt with during the finals run. The Mavericks shut him down for 11 days under the guise of a wrist injury to get him back in shape. Then, when he suffered the calf injury on Christmas Day, Luka's personal trainers said he needed at least 6 weeks to recover. The Mavericks training staff said 2 to 3 weeks. And here's where it gets ugly. GM Nico Harrison wanted Luka to travel with the team on their road trip so he could ramp up his on-court work. Luka wanted to stay in Dallas, where he had access to the training facility and all the equipment he needed for recovery. So Luka offered to work out with the Mavericks G League team instead. And then Harrison just went silent. Didn't respond, didn't communicate. And then boom, February 1st, Luka Doncic traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick.
Breaking news on SportsCenter this morning, the Lakers and Mavericks making it a blockbuster night. Luka Doncic headed to the Lakers, Anthony Davis headed to the Mavericks in a seismic trade that shakes up the reigning Western Conference champion Mavs and gives LeBron James in Los Angeles a 25-year-old superstar who's been All-NBA first team for 5 straight years.
First thing I said, like probably 3 times, is April 1st. And I was in shock.
You hang up the phone the night you're traded, and you threw it?
Yes.
Do you have that phone?
Yeah.
What were you feeling in that moment?
Sadness, mostly. I was still in shock, like crazy shock, and I felt like my heart was broken, honestly.
Was your intention to finish your career in Dallas?
Of course. I gave everything to that franchise. I played through a lot of injuries. A lot of people don't know. Never asked for nothing, small things, and I had a great time, honestly. It was the first team that drafted me. I mean, the trade happened in the draft, but I came there as a kid when I was 18. I didn't know what to expect from NBA. I don't know I'll be good, bad, so they gave me the opportunity. I really appreciate it. I just wish Kobe and Gigi were here to see this moment, and I'm excited about this new journey, and happy to be here.
Let me repeat that. The Dallas Mavericks traded a 25-year-old 5-time All-NBA first-team player who just led them to the finals for a 31-year-old injury-prone big man, a role player, and a pick 7 years in the future. But it gets worse. Because after the trade, the Mavericks leaked stories to the media about Luka's conditioning, about his work ethic, about culture concerns. They questioned whether he really wanted to win. They made it seem like they had to trade him because he wasn't committed. And you know what? It was all garbage. Spencer Dinwiddie, who played with Luka in Dallas, came out and said that, yeah, Luka hated structured drills, but he'd stay 2 hours after practice playing 3-on-3 and 5-on-5, using G League players like cones. That's not a guy who doesn't love basketball. That's a guy who loves it so much he doesn't need drills to be the best in the world. The real reason for the trade? Money. The Mavericks didn't want to pay Luka the $345 million Supermax extension he was eligible for. They wanted to avoid the luxury tax, so they traded him and then tried to make it seem like it was his fault. And the reaction? Dallas fans were furious. Protests outside the arena. Social media exploded. Ticket sales plummeted. People were chanting "Fire Nico" at games. The backlash was so severe that 9 months later, in November 2025, Nico Harrison was fired.
Sorry for Nico Harrison, but at the end of the day, you traded Luka Doncic. And if you're trading Luka Doncic, you can't be 3-8 on the season. Mavs ownership is more responsible for this than anyone for letting it happen. But in the end, owners don't fire themselves. They find somebody to blame. And Nico Harrison went all in. He knew that it could eventually cost him, and unfortunately it had.
But by then, the damage was already done. So what happened after the trade? Well, Luka made his Lakers debut 8 days later after recovering from his calf injury. He scored 14 points in 23 minutes in a blowout win. Nothing flashy, just getting his feet wet with his new team. But then came his return to Dallas in April. And man, that was tough to watch. The American Airlines Center was filled with purple and gold Luka jerseys. Fans were cheering louder for the visiting team than their own Mavericks. And Luka? He dropped 45 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. After the game, during his tribute video, he cried.
How were you able to not be too emotional, to still come out and play and perform the way you did?
I don't know how I did it, because when I was watching that video, I was like, there's no way I'm playing this game. But all my teammates had my back. They were really supporting me, so I really appreciate that.
He wrote in his farewell letter, "I wanted so badly to bring you a championship. I thought I'd spend my career here." How do you do that to a 25-year-old kid who gave you everything? Meanwhile, the player the Mavericks got back, Anthony Davis, has been a disaster. He made his Dallas debut on February 8th and scored 26 points with 16 rebounds in 3.5 quarters before leaving with lower body tightness. Over the next 7 games, Kyrie Irving played like an MVP, averaging 30 points a game. And then in Game 8, Kyrie tore his ACL. Season over, so the Mavericks traded Luka to build around Kyrie and AD. and those two have played exactly 3.5 quarters together. That's it. The Mavericks finished the 2025 season 39-43. They lost in the play-in tournament to Memphis. And the only silver lining? They won the draft lottery with a 1.8% chance and got Cooper Flagg with the #1 pick. Pure luck, not strategy. Meanwhile, the Lakers finished 50-32 as the 3 seed in the West. They lost to Minnesota in 5 games in the first round, but Luka averaged 28 points, 7.5 assists, and 8 rebounds in his first 28 games with LA. And then in the offseason, he signed a 3-year extension to stay with the Lakers. So let's talk about where we are now. January 2026, almost a year after the trade. Luka Doncic is currently averaging 33.5 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 8.7 assists per game.
6'8" point guard. He's 225 pounds.
He was the most NBA-ready offensive player we've ever seen.
I mean, like, if you don't double him, it's 50. You know, it's like guaranteed.
He's leading the entire NBA in scoring. He's shooting 61% true shooting on a league-high 38% usage rate. He just joined Kobe Bryant as the only Lakers in history to put up 45 points, 10 assists, and 5 threes in a single game. He's 26 years old and playing the best basketball of his entire career.
He gonna take the last shot. He ain't tripping. This is what he been doing since 13-14.
He can control a game. He doesn't even have to shoot. He'll walk the ball up the court 10 straight times and get to his spot every single time, just because of his pace.
And you know what the best part is? He lost weight. After all those reports about his conditioning, after all the fat shaming from the Mavericks organization,
I yelled to my wife, Ernestine, you got to come in here and look at this. Look at Luka's face. He's got a fat face.
Yes.
Is that not a fat face?
Yes.
He's just fat. He's got big old jowls.
Yes.
He's got puffy chipmunk cheeks, right?
Yes. This is bad.
It's just bad.
I'm very disappointed. Luka, you are a professional athlete.
Luka came back this season having lost 30 pounds. He hired a nutritionist. He adapted intermittent fasting. He dedicated his entire offseason to proving his doubters wrong. And now he's in the best shape of his life. The guy who allegedly had work ethic issues just spent 4 months transforming his body because he wanted to win that badly.
He's got a chance to be one of the best to ever do it.
It's just unbelievable. It's hard to put into words what he's doing because I don't know if, we just haven't either seen it in so long, or he might even get to a point after, especially if they win, that's going to put him in a whole different stratosphere.
You don't come here for nothing else than championships. I have everything left to prove, so the goal is to win the championship.
And it shows. In his last 6 games, he's scored 30 or more points in 5 of them. He recently dropped 46 on the Bulls. He hung 33 on his former team, the Mavericks, in a comeback win. He's unstoppable. And here's the thing that should terrify the rest of the league. Luka's not just playing great. He's playing with a chip on his shoulder. He's motivated by what happened. He wants to prove that trading him was the biggest mistake the Mavericks ever made. And every night, every game, he's doing exactly that. The Lakers are currently 28-17, sitting in the 5th seed in the West. They're legitimate contenders. And with a 40-year-old LeBron still playing at a high level alongside Luka, plus additions like Marcus Smart and DeAndre Ayton, this team could actually win it all. Meanwhile, the Mavericks are tanking. Anthony Davis has played only 20 games this season due to various injuries. He's dealing with an eye issue that forces him to wear goggles. He hurt his hand against Utah and was almost going to need surgery. The Mavericks don't even own their own first-round pick for the next 5 years. Their only hope is that Cooper Flagg develops into a star. So the team that traded Luka is rebuilding around a 19-year-old rookie. The team that got Luka is competing for a championship with a 26-year-old superstar in his prime. Explain how this trade made sense. So let's get to the heart of this video. Why did Luka Doncic deserve better? Because this isn't just about basketball. This is about respect. This is about loyalty. This is about how you treat a generational talent who gave you everything. First, let's talk about age. Luka was 25 when they traded him. 25. He was just entering his prime. Anthony Davis was 31 with a long injury history. You don't trade a player who's getting better for a player whose best years are probably behind him. That's backwards. Second, let's talk about what Luka accomplished in Dallas. In 7 seasons, he made 5 All-NBA first teams. 5. He won Rookie of the Year. He led the league in scoring in 2024. He carried the Mavericks to their first finals appearance since Dirk's championship in 2011. He averaged a near triple-double in multiple playoff runs. He did all of this before turning 26 years old. And what was his reward? Getting traded because the front office didn't want to pay him, getting smeared in the media on his way out the door, having his work ethic questioned by people who've never played the game at that level. Third, let's talk about what the Mavericks could have gotten. If you're trading Luka Doncic, you should be able to get any player in the league outside of maybe 5 or 6 guys. Cade Cunningham, Jaylen Brown, Scotty Barnes, Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Williams, De'Aaron Fox. Any of those guys would have been better returns than Anthony Davis. But no, they settled for an injury-prone big man and called it a day. Fourth, let's talk about loyalty. Luka signed the Supermax extension. He bought a $15 million house in Dallas. He told everyone who would listen that he wanted to spend his career there. He played through injuries in the finals. He gave that franchise everything he had, and they repaid him by shipping him out 9 months later. And finally, let's talk about the excuses. The Mavericks said it was about conditioning, but Luka's currently playing 37 minutes a night and leading the league in scoring. They said it was about culture. But he's thriving in LA alongside LeBron James, one of the greatest leaders in NBA history. They said it was about defense. But you build around generational offensive talent. You don't trade it for a center who can't stay healthy. The truth is simple. Luka Doncic deserved an organization that would build around him properly. That would get him the right supporting cast. That would appreciate what they had. And instead, he got a front office that leaked lies about him to justify a cost-cutting move. But here's what really stands out about this whole situation. Luka's story isn't just about one bad trade. It's about how the NBA treats its stars. It's about loyalty and what it means in modern sports. Think about Luka's path. He left home at 13 years old to chase his dream. He dominated Europe as a teenager. He came to the NBA and was great from day one. He never complained. He never demanded trades. He signed the extension. He stayed. And what did it get him? Betrayed by the team he thought he'd retire with. And now compare that to other stars. Kevin Durant left Oklahoma City in free agency. LeBron left Cleveland twice. Kawhi Leonard forced his way out of San Antonio. And you know what? I don't blame any of them. Because if teams are going to trade loyal stars to save money, why should players show loyalty back? The Luka trade changed the equation. It showed every young star in the league that no matter how good you are, no matter how much you give to a franchise, they'll trade you the second it's convenient. And that's a dangerous precedent. Look at the historical parallels too. This trade reminds me of when the Magic let Shaq walk in 1996, or when the Thunder traded James Harden in 2012. Short-sighted decisions that haunt franchises for decades. The Magic never recovered from losing Shaq. The Thunder never won a title after trading Harden. And the Mavericks? They just made the same mistake. But there's also a positive side to this story. Because Luka's transformation has been incredible to watch. Remember all those questions about his conditioning? About whether he'd take his body seriously? Well, he answered them. He lost 30 pounds. He came back in phenomenal shape. He's playing the best basketball of his career, and this is where the Shaq comparison comes in. In 1999, Shaq was 26 years old and noticeably out of shape. The Lakers got swept in the second round. Everyone questioned if he'd ever put it together, but that loss motivated him. Phil Jackson challenged him, and Shaq responded by winning MVP and 3 straight championships. Or look at Nikola Jokic. In 2019, he was good, but not great. A picture of him out of shape went viral that summer. And you know what Jokic did? He lost the weight and kept it off. And then he won 3 MVPs and a championship in the next 5 years. Luka has all the talent to follow that same path. The difference is, he's doing it with a new team. And he's motivated by what happened in Dallas. That fire, that chip on his shoulder, that's what turns great players into legends. So where does this leave us? What's next for Luka Doncic, and what's next for the Dallas Mavericks? For Luka, the future is bright. He's 26 years old and in his prime. He just signed a 3-year extension with the Lakers, so he's locked in through 2028. He's playing alongside LeBron James, learning from one of the greatest to ever do it. The Lakers have the pieces to compete. They added Marcus Smart for defense. They have young talent, and most importantly, they have a franchise that actually values what they have. This year, the Lakers have a real shot at making a deep playoff run. Luka's playing MVP-level basketball. LeBron's still performing at an all-star level at 40 years old. The Western Conference is wide open with the Nuggets dealing with injuries and the Warriors getting older. If everything clicks, the Lakers could absolutely win it all. And if that happens, if Luka wins a championship in his second year with LA, that'll be the ultimate validation. For the Mavericks, the future is uncertain. They're building around Cooper Flagg, who looks like he could be special. The kid's averaging 19 points and 6 rebounds as a 19-year-old rookie. But they don't have much draft capital. They don't own their first-round pick for the next 5 years. Their big free agent signing from last summer, Klay Thompson, is declining. And Anthony Davis, the centerpiece of the Luka trade, might get moved at the deadline. The Mavericks went from NBA Finals contenders to rebuilding in less than a year. And it's all because they made a panic move to avoid paying their franchise player. But beyond the basketball, this story is about more than just wins and losses. It's about what happens when you disrespect greatness, when you take loyalty for granted, when you prioritize short-term savings over long-term success. Luka Doncic was the best thing to happen to Dallas since Dirk Nowitzki. He was exciting, he was clutch, he was fun to watch, he made the Mavericks relevant again, and they threw it all away. Now, every time Luka drops 40 points for the Lakers, Mavericks fans have to watch and wonder what could have been. Every time he hits a game winner, they have to remember that he used to do that for them. And every time the Lakers make a playoff run, they have to live with the fact that their franchise gave up on a generational talent in his prime. That's the real tragedy here. Not just that the trade was bad, but that it didn't have to happen. The Mavericks had everything they needed. They had their superstar. They had a supporting cast. They had a window to compete for the next decade. And they slammed it shut because they didn't want to pay the bill. So let's bring this full circle, back to that night in February when the trade broke. Back to that moment when everyone thought Shams's account had been hacked. Back to the shock and disbelief that the Dallas Mavericks actually traded Luka Doncic. What a joke. That's what this whole thing is, a joke. Not because Luka's a joke. He's the opposite. He's one of the best players in the world, and he's proving it every single night. The joke is what happened to him. The joke is how an organization treated a franchise legend. The joke is thinking you can replace a generational talent with a player who can't stay healthy and a pick 7 years down the road. But here's the thing about jokes. Eventually, someone's laughing and someone's not. And right now, Luka Doncic is having the last laugh. He's leading the league in scoring, he's playing the best basketball of his career, he's in the best shape of his life, he's thriving with the Lakers, and every night he's showing the Mavericks exactly what they gave up. Throughout NBA history, only 8 players have averaged at least 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists in a single season. Luka has done it 5 times. 5 times by age 26. Michael Jordan did it once. LeBron James did it 0 times. That's the level of player we're talking about. That's who the Mavericks traded away. And the sad part? It didn't have to be this way. Luka wanted to stay. He wanted to bring a championship to Dallas. He wanted to be the greatest Maverick of all time. But the organization didn't want him badly enough. They weren't willing to pay him. They weren't willing to build around him properly. They weren't willing to show him the respect he deserved. So now he's a Laker. And the scary part? He's just getting started. Luka Doncic is 26 years old. He's already a 5-time All-NBA first-team player. He's already led a team to the finals. He's already one of the greatest offensive players in NBA history. And he's entering the prime years of his career with a chip on his shoulder the size of Texas. This won't be his last scoring title. This won't be his last All-NBA selection. And if the Lakers can put the right pieces around him, this won't be his last chance at a championship. But for the Dallas Mavericks, the chance is gone. They had their generational superstar. They had their franchise player. They had their future. And they traded it all away for 3.5 quarters of Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving together. What a joke.